Welcome to the File-AID MVS Online Selection Criteria Introduction module. Here you will learn about how and where selection criteria may be used in File-AID to filter records prior to processing. Too much is common in the real world. It could be too much cargo. It could be too much to choose from. It could be too much whatever. In the IT world, it could be too much data, or way too much data. Enter selection criteria to avoid having to work with too much data. For example, when editing, all records are typically accessed. If a filter is applied, only a subset of the records will display for the user. As we see here, there is an option from the File-AID primary menu specifically for creating and changing selection criteria. These actions are also available wherever selection criteria may be used. Specifically, when browsing, when editing, when copying, when comparing, when printing, and when using the Search Update utility. Selection criteria may be saved and reused with all of these File-AID functional areas. We will begin looking at selection criteria with the File-AID editor because editing is a common activity and it provides a convenient way to view selection results. Initially, the selection criteria usage is set to none, and we proceed directly to the edit display of the entire file. Back on the Edit Entry panel, let's look at the other selection criteria options. Existing requests that pre-built selection criteria be applied immediately and display the filtered file. Temporary requests display of the selection criteria maintenance screens, where the desired selection criteria may be created, optionally saved, and applied. Modify requests display of existing selection criteria with change and save options available prior to application. Quick requests display of the Create Unformatted Selection Criteria screen, followed by application of the criteria with no option to save. We begin by choosing the temporary option. Next, we will look at the file options. Note the status column to the right. The options are at their default settings. The first two options allow for initial access to the file at a location other than the first record. This could be at a specific key, relative byte address, or relative record number. The selection interval options described on the right are especially convenient for creating test data. There is also the option to process a file backward in case the desired records are near the end of the file. In this example, we will change the initial records to skip from 0 to 2 records. Returning to the Selection Criteria menu, we see that the options status has changed to Not Default. The other menu choices are covered in separate modules: Formatted Selection Criteria, Unformatted Selection Criteria, and Using Global Fields. We will save the specified criteria. We enter the PDS and member name. The PDS must have the record format, record length, and block size shown here. The Save confirmation message appears to the upper right of the screen, and we use End to continue. The file is displayed in the Edit window, and a message advises that two records were not selected. That message is optional. To set that option, choose Parameters from the File-AID main menu, then view the System options. Here you will find the settings for that message. Viewing the selection options, we see the other selection criteria parameters which may be set. The attachments available here contain the exercises and solutions for the formatted and unformatted selection criteria modules. They may be downloaded and/or printed at your convenience. This concludes this module. Thank you.